we gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many US states and state capitals that do not contain the letters U or S as they could. Richard.
Yep, simply the name of any US state or the capital of any US state which has neither of those letters in its name, please.
There we are. Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Andrew, we come to you. Welcome to Pointless. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Andrew, tell us all about yourself.
So, I'm Andrew, and I live in Scarborough, and I work in a hospital. I'm a nurse.
Excellent. Tell me something surprising about yourself, Andrew.
Something surprising about myself?
Yes, something...
I'm 5'1". That's not surprising, is it?
I'm looking at you, Andrew. I can tell you something surprising about Andrew.
Yeah?
Andrew auditioned to be the Milky Bar Kid.
I did. I did audition to be the Milky Bar Kid, and I didn't get it, but I had blonde hair when I was 10. I had round glasses when I was 10, and I went along and shouted, "The Milky Bars are on me," a few times, and sadly, I wasn't cast. I got lots of chocolate.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, lots of chocolate.
Oh, that's nice. Do you like white chocolate?
Not really.
No, I did up to the age of 10, but yes, yeah. Andrew, what are you going to go for?
I think I'll go for Alabama.
Alabama. Oh, Alabama. Oh, we've had this. Well, I know. I say Alabama. Maybe I'm just one person.
Listen.
Yeah.
Here's how I would put
Yeah.
this. You are incorrect.
Oh, no, yeah, that's fine. Happily.
Alabama.
Alabama. Do you
There
say
you go.
New Orleans or do you say New Orleans? Oh, phew. It's going to mess it up.
Yeah, I say New Orleans.
No, it's good. There we are. Alabama. Alabama, says Andrew. Let's see how many of our 100 people said it. $39. Not bad at all, Andrew. Gets us off to a flying start. 39.
First 911 calls ever made was in Haleyville, Alabama.
What was it? Do we know?
Yes, it was literally just two local dignitaries launching the service, so it was nothing exciting.
Oh.
Yeah. Neither of them had a saucepan on their head or anything like that.
OK. All right, thank you very much, Richard. Now then, Daniel, welcome back. Remind us all about yourself, Daniel.
So I work in sales. I pitch and sell commercial advertising campaigns for a publication in London.
Now, is it always just for one publication?
Yes, it's one publication, although it is a global publication, lots of presence in other countries.
Give some clues. What sort of area, roughly, is it in?
It's all about things to do in the city and best things and new things and exploring what your city has to offer.
There we are. Daniel, what are you going to go for? So we're looking for any US state or state capital that does not contain the letters U or S.
So I've never actually visited North America or left Europe for that fact. So my answer is going to be North Dakota.
North Dakota, says Daniel. Let's see how many of our 100 people said North Dakota. It's a good answer. Down he goes to 16. Very well done indeed, Daniel.
The North Dakota town of Rugby is considered to be the geographical centre of the whole North American continent.
Do they have a monument there just says, "You are now in the middle of America"?
Yeah.
Good.
It's 4,000 feet high, made of ice.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. Wow. And it's got a statue of Ben Miller on the top of it. And nobody knows why.
Wow.
Yeah. Worth going to Rugby to see it.
I should think. Yes, thank you, Richard. I shall. Rosie, welcome.
Hello.
Rosie, nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Tell us all about yourself, Rosie.
I'm an IT service manager for a IT services company where I met Karen, been firm friends ever since. Married mum of one to my little Luca, who's 10 years old.
This is all very good. When you were younger, Rosie, you were a disco dancing champion.
I knew
That's
that was
all.
gonna
I
come
just had to bring that up. That's well, that's fun,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's more fun than IT.
Yeah, I mean, I've forgotten about it now because I think the last... That's embarrassing. Yeah, I did do that when I was up to about 13. Won a few trophies.
Still got the moves? Good.
So sorry.
OK, if you win, you are going to dance us out. That's all I'm saying. So,
conga.
Rosie, what are you going to go for?
I think, I'm hoping it's north, I don't know, Montana.
Montana? No,
Montana.
I promise. I say Montana. Montana. OK, let's see how many of our 100 people went for Montana. It's right. 39's the high score, 16's the low. You passed the high score. You passed the low. Very well done indeed, Rosie. A new low, 12.
Very well played. I see everyone's gone for a state so far and not for a state capital. That's next level quiz in the state capitals.
Nobody knows state capitals apart from you.
Be a good thing to learn.
Or wouldn't it be a really good thing to learn? There we are. Yes. OK. Now, Graham, welcome back. Graham, remind us all about yourself.
Yeah, I used to be a phlebotomist, retired last year.
A phlebotomist, just remind us what that is.
I used to work for Leicester Blood Service, so travelling around Leicestershire, taking donations.
To be honest, a phlebotomist, it just sounds like it should be more fun than that. I mean, sorry, I know that is great fun, but phlebotomist, studying, I don't know, butterflies in somewhere, I don't know.
Just studying veins, really, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I guess it is, exactly.
Great,
Study veins, that's also an exciting and important discipline, arguably more than butterflies. Yeah. Anyway, there we are. Graham, what are you going to go for?
Atlanta.
Atlanta, says Graham. OK, let's see how many of our 100 people said Atlanta. It's right. And look at that, down to 6. We have a new low. Very well done indeed on the far podium there.
See, and that's what happens when you go for a state capital. You see, well done. It's the capital of a state that I won't mention.
Ah, yes.
Because it could also be an answer.
OK, we're halfway through the round. Let's have a look at those scores. Yes, 6 there for Graham and Faye, 12 for Rosie and Karen, 16 for Daniel and Said, and then Andrew and Richard on 39. So, Richard, we need a low score from you in the next pass. Good luck with that. We're going to come back down the line now. Can the second players please step up to the podium? And so, Faye, welcome back. Just tell us what you do.
I am a cake decorator.
Ah.
And I failed to bring in cake.
For the second time.
I mean, it's quite something, isn't it? Yeah. Once might be seen to be an oversight. Twice begins to look deliberate.
Have you ever, Faye, because you're a decorator rather than a baker...
Oh, I do both. I'm both.
Don't say that, because it makes it seem even worse that you haven't yours.
Have you ever just thought, oh, look, I can do such good decorations, I'll just buy the base from the supermarket?
No. I do everything from scratch. I even make my own jams.
To go in the sponge?
Yes.
Wow.
That's amazing. Now, Faye, you've been brilliantly set up there by Graham. You are on 6. 32 or less, even at this early stage of the pass, gets you through. So it's US states or state capitals, not with the letters U or S in them. Where are we?
Currently love my dad because I was pulling an absolute blank. So I'm going to say Georgia.
That's nice. That's nice. It was literally on your mind. OK, there's your red line, Faye. Get below that, you're through to the next round. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Georgia. But through you go. OK, 26 is your total. I suspect that might be the lowest of the whole round.
Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia, beautifully played as a team. They were terrific last time, terrific again today.
Thanks, Richard. Now, Karen, welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi.
Tell us all about yourself, Karen.
All about me. Well, as Rosie said, we work at the same company, IT services company, but I'm in the projects department, so I'm a project manager.
And what are your interests, Karen, when the IT...
I am a Spurs supporter. I'm not sure how that's going to be received. Support Spurs. I'm a Samaritan in my spare time. Have a weekly movie night with some friends. Every Sunday night we watch a film.
So that's do you go out or do you stay in?
No, we go to their house.
You go to their house? Nice.
They provide the film, we provide the snacks.
Do they have a sort of at-home movie set up?
It's quite a big telly.
That'll do. Have drinks with your
then we
film?
have the film and we all mark it out of 10.
Oh, that's nice. And then do you sort of sit around afterwards and tear the film up?
No,
I guess it's
a
school night.
School night. Back home by 9:30.
Back home. Oh, that's
by
good.
10.
That's good. Nice to have something to look forward to on a Sunday
So if you have a quiet weekend, there's still movie night at the end.
Oh, there's always movie night.
There's always
movie night. Now, Karen, you're on 12.
Yes.
You are looking to score 26 or less to be sure of a place.
Almost certain this is a state. So I'm terribly sorry, Rosie, if it isn't. Indiana.
Indiana, says Karen. Shall we find out if it's right? Let's see how many of our 100 people said it. There's your red line. It is.
You're teasing me.
There we go. Red line getting closer, and you've done it. You've done it. Oh, down it goes to 7. 19 is your total, which I am absolutely certain will be the lowest total of the round.
Another very good answer, yeah. It's they call it the Crossroads of America, Indiana.
That's nice.
Yeah, because it's all made out of cardboard and everyone forgets their lines.
Yeah. Thanks, Richard. Now, Saeed, welcome back.
Hello.
Remind us all about yourself.
Yeah, I work as a business director at a marketing agency, so I look after 45 people advertising on social media.
And these are sort of things where you can skip an ad in,
Yeah.
3 seconds. So basically, you've got 4 seconds
Yeah.
to get someone thinking, oh, actually, do you know, I'm going to sit and watch this. That'd be quite something, wouldn't it? Now, Saeed, you're on 16. Your target is 22.
Yeah. There's a couple that I'm thinking of because I've been to some places in the States. So I'm going to go with Colorado.
OK. A lot of states now do, as you drive in, have to say, may contain U's or S's as you drive in. So Colorado you're going to go for. There is your red line. Let's see if we can get below that with Colorado. Look at that. Well done. Well done. 19 takes your total up to 35.
Now, Colorado is quite high up, Colorado. The lowest point in Colorado is higher above sea level than the top of Scafell Pike, the highest point of England. Although if I was on top of Scafell Pike...
There we go.
Yeah. Might make a bit of difference.
It certainly would. Thank you very much, Richard. Oh, Richard. Richard, oh, Richard. Richard, oh, Richard. I have such bad news for you. You are already our high scorers. I don't know how that even happened. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Anyway, listen, welcome. Let's get the chat in anyway.
All right, OK.
Welcome, Richard. Tell us all about yourself.
So, I'm on a bit of a career break. I just, a couple of weeks ago, finished being a university lecturer, and we've moved to Scarborough.
Will you keep your hand in with some...
So I'd really like to do some writing and to do some cooking and to sing in a choir and to maybe do some musicals and all the things I haven't really had time to do having a full-time job. So that's the point. Well, move by the sea, have a nice life, do things like come on Pointless and leave very quickly. So plenty of time for all this stuff, you know?
Oh, brilliant. What an amazing step up in quality of life. That's fabulous. Richard, what are you going to go for?
Well, I better go for something... Doesn't matter now, does it?
Well, it doesn't. You go dazzle us with a state capital.
OK, so let's go for Portland.
Portland, Oregon.
I'm hoping is the state capital of Oregon.
OK.
But it might just be a town in Oregon. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows? It's worth a shot. Portland. Oh, this could be brilliant. There's no red line for you just because you happen to be the high scorers, but let's have some fun with Portland and see if that's a correct answer. Oh, bad luck. Oh, bad luck. I was all behind that. I thought that stood every chance, but that shows how little I know. But 139 is your total. There we are, Portland, Oregon.
But exactly the right thing to do as well. What a lovely way to have left it would have been. Salem is the state capital of Oregon.
See, there we are.
But it's got an S in it.
That's true.
Now, all the pointless answers are state capitals. The lowest scoring state, actually, is Indiana. So it was a terrific answer, 7 points. You couldn't have got a state lower than that. But I'll take you through some of these pointless answers. Cheyenne is the state capital of Wyoming. Concord, that is New Hampshire. Dover, that's Delaware. Frankfurt, that is Kentucky. Hartford, Connecticut. Helena, that is Montana. We heard Montana. Montgomery, that's Alabama. Would have been a lovely one. Pointless answer there. Topeka, that's Kansas. Trenton, New Jersey. You could have had Lincoln, Nebraska. Montpelier, which is Vermont. Oklahoma City, which is Oklahoma. And Olympia, Washington. Pierre, South Dakota. And Raleigh, North Carolina. All of those are pointless answers. Should we take a look at the 3 highest scorers? No surprises on this list. Florida would have scored you 55. California would have scored you 59, and New York would have scored you 79. State capital of New York, Albany, would have scored you 7 points.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. So at the end of our first round, we have to say goodbye to one of our pairs. Richard and Andrew, you only just got here. I'm so sorry, but it's been lovely, but brief. We'll see you again next time, though. Look forward to that very much. Meantime, thanks very much, Richard and Andrew.
Thank you.
We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many US states or US state capitals that do not contain the letter A as they could. Richard.
Yeah, I don't know what to add to that. I think that pretty much sums it up.
Sans A, that's it.
Sans A, exactly.
Yeah. Seb, what are you going to go for? Looking for these states or state capitals that don't contain an A?
Yeah, a lot of them contain an A, so just thinking about it. But probably going to have to go for New Mexico.
New Mexico, says Seb. Let's see how many of our 100 people said New Mexico. Look at that, not bad at all. Down to 15, Seb. 15 for New Mexico.
Well played, Seb. Isn't it funny, as soon as you say states or state capitals without an A, all you can do is think of ones with A for ages. It's literally, your brain cannot allow you to do anything else.
Now, Heather, what are you going to go for?
Boise.
Heather's going for Boise. That sounds good. Let's see if it's right. Let's see how many of our 100 said it. Boise is right. 15 is the only score posted at the moment. Boise passes 15, and it goes down to 1. Very, very strong indeed, Heather. What a great answer.
That's a terrific answer, Heather. I can tell you where it's the state capital of as well, because the state has an A in it. Idaho.
Idaho.
Yeah.
Boise, Idaho.
Boise, Idaho.
Thank you very much indeed. Brian, what are you going to go for?
Oh, I'm torn. Oh. I'm going to go safe for Illinois.
Illinois, says Brian. OK, let's see how many of our 100 said Illinois. Illinois is right. 15 is our high score at the moment. Let's see where Illinois ends up. 18 for Illinois.
Morton in Illinois, which also doesn't have an A, is the pumpkin capital of the world. And pumpkin doesn't have an A either.
No, it doesn't.
So an awful lot going on there.
A lot going on there.
85% of the world's canned pumpkin comes from Morton, Illinois.
Illinois.
How about that?
That's a lovely thing. I've never had canned pumpkin knowingly.
I suspect I may never eat canned pumpkin in my life.
John, what are you going to go for?
I've got lots going through my head.
Yeah.
I'm going to pump for Providence.
Providence, says John. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Providence. Providence is right. Well, 18 is our high score, 1 is our low. I think we might see our high scores passed, and that's a pointless answer. Very well done indeed, John. That adds £250 to today's jackpot, takes the total up to £10,750. Scores you nothing. Very good.
That's brilliant, John. Very well played. State capital of Rhode Island.
OK, now, Lorna, you're on nothing. The high scorers are on 18, so even 17 at this stage would get you through.
Don't want to let him down. Columbus.
Columbus, says Lorna. Here is your red line. Let's see if we can get you below this red line. Let's see where we end up with Columbus. Columbus is right. Columbus gets you through. Columbus is pointless. Very well done indeed. That adds another £250 to today's jackpot, takes the total up to £11,000. It scores you nothing, and it leaves your total at 0.
Wow, it's like they're planning a heist on Podium 4 there. They're here for our money. That's very, very impressive start. Yeah, it is the... Oh, it's the capital of a particular state.
Oh, you can't say
Columbus.
An A-less state.
I cannot. But Columbus has a statue of Arnold Schwarzenegger just wearing his pants.
Yeah, we've all got one of those.
And that's because that's where he won Mr. World bodybuilding competition.
There you are on 18. You're the high scorers. Let's have a lovely low score from you, Ashley.
OK, so I know a couple ones that I think would be really obvious, so probably be best to maybe take a risk, but I'm not... it's going to happen to me again. I'm going to go for Wyoming.
OK, Wyoming, says Ashley. No red lines, you're the high scorers. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Wyoming. Wyoming's right. Down it goes to 10. Not bad. Takes your total up to 28.
Not bad at all. It's also the last state alphabetically, so about as far away from A as you can get.
See, that's good. Thank you, Richard. You are on 1. If you can score 26 or less, you are through to the next round.
So I've got 2 in my mind. They're both not the most obscure, but I'm going to go for Ohio.
Ohio, says Melissa. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Ohio. Ohio is right. 39 is what it scores. Takes your total up to 40. That puts Brian and Ashley into round 2.
And that's the state that Columbus is the capital of, so I can say it. That's nice.
That's nice.
Thank you for completing that little circle.
Very nice. Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Now, JR, you are on 15. 24 or less gets you into the next round.
My answers were taken, so I'm not sure. I'm going to go with New York.
OK, you're going to go for New York. Let's see how many of our 100 people said New York. Here is your red line. Well, New York's right. No A's in that. Oh, look at that, 65. My goodness me. That takes your total up to a lovely round 80.
Yeah, it's the biggest scorer of all. In fact, New York, Ohio, and Illinois are the three biggest scorers, and we've had all of them. Yeah, New York State, of course, not New York City, because Albany is the capital of New York State. Now, there's a whole load of pointless answers here, all state capitals. Let's take a look at some of them, shall we? There's Columbus, which is a great answer. Concord, which is New Hampshire. Dover, Delaware. You could have had Jefferson City, Missouri. Lincoln, Nebraska. Little Rock, Arkansas. Providence, that's Rhode Island, we've already had that. Richmond, Virginia. Trenton, New Jersey. You could have had Cheyenne, which is the Wyoming state capital. Montpelier, which is Vermont, and Pear, which is South Dakota as well.
US states depicted on the 50 state quarters.
Yeah, the 50 state quarters, that's some coins that were minted for a certain project. We're going to show you descriptions now of some of those, 7 on each pass. You have to tell us which state we're talking about, please. So it'll be a little description. There'll also be the capital of that state. So which US states are these?
A peach and the state motto, wisdom, justice, moderation, Atlanta. The 3 ships that brought the first English colonists to Jamestown in the spring of 1607, Richmond. The Statue of Liberty against an outline of the state with the inscription, Gateway to Freedom, Albany. A mansion with a thoroughbred racehorse behind a fence, Frankfort. A race car atop an outline of the state, Indianapolis. A star atop an outline of the state and the inscription, the Lone Star State, Austin. And a pelican and a trumpet with musical notes, Baton Rouge.
I think I'm going to go for the bottom one and say Louisiana.
OK, Louisiana for Baton Rouge. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Louisiana. Louisiana is right. And down that goes to 14. Very well done indeed. Great start to the show.
Yeah, the brown pelican is the official state bird of Louisiana.
I think I'm going to go for the 3 ships that brought the first England colonists to Jamestown, and that is Virginia.
OK, Virginia for Richmond. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Virginia. Virginia is right. Now, 14 is what Roz scored. Barbara on 20 for Virginia.
Well played, Barbara. Yeah, it's an unusual position, that, isn't it? Because I'm sure you know all of them. The 3 ships were the Discovery, the Godspeed, and the Susan Constant.
Yeah, well, I knew the bottom one because my nephew used to live there. And other than that, I'm panicking, but I will go for the top one and say Georgia.
Georgia for Atlanta. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Georgia. Georgia is absolutely right. 20 is our high score, 14 is our low. 37 for Georgia. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Well done, Jeanette.
Yeah, the peach is Georgia's state fruit, and they produce an awful lot of them. They have a peach cobbler day in Georgia, and Atlanta is the capital of Georgia.
So I know the top one's New York. I'm not sure if it's Indianapolis, Minnesota. I'm not sure. The last one, Austin, Texas, but I don't know whether to take upon Indianapolis. But I'll play it safe, I think. So I'd say Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. Yeah. OK, let's see how many of our 100 people said Texas for Austin. Down it goes 53. Not bad. 53 for Texas.
Yeah, I think probably better to go for Texas and take the risk. The Indianapolis one, Barbara, do you know that one?
Indiana.
Indiana is the answer to that one. And that would have scored you 8 points. The Statue of Liberty, you're quite right, is New York. New York State would have scored 36. Now, this is the best answer, Barbara. Best of all, and it is?
Kentucky.
Kentucky, absolutely. Home of the Kentucky Derby.
Of course.
Would have scored 3 points.
Naturalist John Muir and the Yosemite Valley, Sacramento. The Rocky Mountains, Denver. Mount Rushmore National Memorial, bordered by heads of wheat, Pierre. The Grand Canyon, with a saguaro cactus in the foreground, Phoenix. A grizzly bear emerging from the water, clutching a salmon in its jaw, Juneau. King Kamehameha I, stretching his hand toward the 8 major islands of the state, Honolulu, and Orville and Wilbur Wright's plane taking off, and the inscription first flight, Raleigh.
I think I actually know most of them. There's two that I think I know, but I'm not sure which one would answer lower, so I'm going to go for Orville and Wilbur Wright's plane. I'm going to say North Carolina.
North Carolina for Raleigh. North Carolina is right. That's a great answer. Look at that, 4. Very well done indeed. That takes your total up to 57.
They say they chose North Carolina because of the high sand hill, the sand to land on and high winds.
The only one that's potentially is the Grand Canyon, but I don't even know what that is, and I'm going to guess at Detroit.
Detroit for Phoenix. Let's see if that is right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Detroit. Oh, bad luck, Matty. I'm afraid that's an incorrect answer. Scores you 100 points. Takes your total up to 137.
It's a city, not a state, I'm afraid.
So I'll go for Juneau and Alaska.
Alaska for Juneau, says Raj. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. No red line, because you're already through. Alaska is right. That's a great answer. Down goes to 12. Takes your total up to 32, Raj. Very well done.
Well done, Raj. It's a classic quiz question, isn't it? Do you know the capital of Alaska?
I think I know them all. Sacramento is California, Denver, Colorado, Phoenix, Arizona, Honolulu is Hawaii, but I think I'm going to go for Pierre, South Dakota.
South Dakota, says Sarah for Pierre. No red line, you're already through. How many of our 100 said South Dakota? It's right. Down that goes to 2. Very well done indeed. The best till last takes your total up to 16.
Very nicely done. I think I was reading again, Barbara. I won't call on you on every question in the whole of the show, I promise. But I think the Americans don't pronounce it Pierre. Is that right?
Pear.
Pear.
Oh, pear.
Pear.
I'm sorry, I started that because I said Pierre.
It's OK.
We've heard all of these answers now, so let's just take a look at the scores. Obviously, you couldn't have beaten 2 points. A terrific answer. Sacramento is California. Would have scored 22. Denver, Colorado would have scored you 40. Phoenix, Arizona would have scored you 37. And Honolulu, Hawaii would have scored 48. Biggest answer up there.
We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many of the largest US cities in each state as they could. Largest US cities in each state, Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for the name of the largest city in any of the 50 US states, please. So the largest city in terms of population according to the 2010 US Census. Very best of luck.
Thanks very much indeed. So this, I might suggest, is one that you might be glad you're on the first podium for.
Probably will be, yes.
Judith, a warm welcome.
Thank you.
You've come here from Sussex. And what do you get up to in Sussex, Judith?
I do a bit of writing. I do a bit of acting. Yes.
What sort of writing do you do?
Oh, just short stories at the moment. I'm working up to a novel, but...
OK. Are you doing a course on that, or is it something you've just embarked on your own?
No, I joined a writer's workshop, so each week we get a homework.
Oh, do you know, my mum's done that. Both my parents have done that, but they go along together. And the only difference is that my mother now just criticises everything. If I ask her to read something, I say, "Did you enjoy that?" She'll read it and go, "Oh, I wasn't sure about the imagery." You think, oh, is that the only fruit of this course?
As an English teacher of 30 years standing, I do that anyway, you see.
Yes.
So this is a chance for me to put myself in the position that my pupils have been in.
Yeah,
and,
tables turned.
Take my homework in each week and read it out with some trepidation. So.
But they're nice, they're encouraging.
Oh, they are,
nurturing.
Yes. Yeah, we have a good laugh. Yeah.
Good. OK, talking of having a good laugh...
my answer.
Yes, what are you going to go for?
I think I shall probably go, it's the first one that's popped into my head, Sacramento, California.
Sacramento, let's see if that's right. Well, let's see if that's just some creative writing.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Judith, I'm afraid. That, again, also gutsy, but I'm afraid, in this case, incorrect. It scores you the maximum of 100 points. Sorry.
Sorry, Barbara.
Sorry, Judith. It is the state capital of California, Sacramento, but very much not the largest city in California, I'm afraid.
OK, I have a feeling you'll be joined by a fair few others up there on 100.
I hope
but
so.
We shall see. Alex, welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, remind us what happened last time.
I brought the wrong person with me, and he scored a lot of points.
Yeah, it was round 2, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That 200 points would have been good in any other quiz show.
I know you're
You've
absolutely
changed
right.
the format, and to be honest, it's quite confusing. So I'm not taking blame for that.
OK, Alex, remind us what you do.
Electrical fitter. Work for a transmission company.
OK, now, Alex, there we are. We've already had 100. Have you got a confident answer?
I've got a confident one, but it's going to be pretty high, and I literally can't think of anything else.
OK.
New York and New York.
New York and New York. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said New York. It's right. 79, but it's right. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, in fact, the biggest population of any US city, New York, 8.1 million people at the last census.
David, welcome.
Hello,
a warm welcome to you. What do you do, David?
I'm a bank manager working in the West London, running a branch of an international bank.
Excellent. And what do you get up to when you're not doing that?
I travel the world, including US cities, running marathons.
Do you?
So I'm hoping
Marathons?
to get one right.
How many marathons have you run?
Just over 50 now. So I've done half of those in England and half of those in countries around the world.
50 marathons? You're probably time you got onto Guinness. I mean, not the drink. I mean the people who run the record book. Anyway, David, I think you might have a good answer on the back of this running.
I will go for one of the cities that I have run in, Seattle for Washington State.
Seattle. Seattle. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said Seattle. Absolutely right. Well, 79's our low score. You tear past that. Still running. 23. 23 for Seattle.
Well played, David. Very good answer. Yeah, 600,000 people in Seattle. We sometimes think of these American cities as huge. They're not.
600,000?
Yeah.
It's weeny.
It is quite weeny, isn't it?
I just think of it all. I just think of Fraser, basically, and all
also
those tall buildings.
Microsoft there as well. And the first ever Starbucks was Seattle in 1971. Whatever happened to them?
Yeah.
So it punches above its weight, I would say.
Thanks very much. OK, now, Scooter. Scooter, welcome. Is that your actual name, Scooter?
It is not, no. My real name is Scott, but my best friend growing up gave me this nickname because he felt I bore a striking resemblance to Scooter from the Muppets.
Are you seeing Scooter from the Muppets there?
Well, given that I can see both of Taz's hands, no.
Oh, I see what you're saying there. OK. Now, Scooter, what are you going to go for?
Well, I think I'm going to play it a bit safer and say Portland, Oregon.
OK, Portland. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said Portland. It's right. Well, 23's our low score. You passed that. 5 for Portland. Very well done indeed.
Yeah, 580,000 people in Portland, Oregon. Have you been to Portland, Scooter?
I have not, no.
It's a beautiful city. It's much loved. It's got quite a kind of, a bohemian air, Portland.
Well, there we are. We're halfway through the round. 5 was the best score of that pass. Very well done. Scooter and Taz looking pretty strong at this stage. Then up to 23, where we find David and Harriet, 79, Alex and Matthew, 100, Judith and Barbara. Quite nicely stepped, that. Nice, even steps there. Barbara,
hello.
Anything can happen in the next pass, is all I'm saying. What we need from you is a low score. Good luck with that. We're going to come back down the line now. Can the second players please step up to the podium? OK, we are looking for any US city which, by population, is the largest in its state. Taz, welcome.
Hello.
Good to have you here. What do you do, Taz?
I'm a technical writer for a modular building firm.
Wow, that's a sort of computer writing, is it?
Technical writing, so when a building gets handed over, I put all the manuals together. And
oh, I see, I see. What do you like getting up to in your spare time, Taz?
Though I'm not very good at it, I do enjoy cycling. I do a lot of cycling.
Proper sort of racing cycling?
No, I'm very much at the end of it.
Right, OK. More just the fun of doing the thing with company.
Yeah, so this year, me and my boyfriend, we're going to cycle part of the Danube River for a holiday. So going from Vienna to Budapest.
I can immediately see a problem with that.
Yeah.
Oh, not in the river. Sorry. Alongside the river.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
OK.
Sometimes you've got to think ahead. That's the Planning is everything.
Yeah, the Danube has a beautiful towpath.
That is like, that's the time when I was trying to canoe the M1, and it just...
To be fair, you got as far as Watford, which wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, not bad. OK, now, Taz, what are you going to go for? There you are on 5, the high scorers, Barbara and Judith on 100. 94 or less sees you through.
I know. So
It just has to be right, that's all.
Yeah, so I have an answer. I think I'm going to go with Atlanta.
Atlanta. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. There is your red line. Get below that red line, lovely and high, with Atlanta, and you are in round 2. It's right, and you're through. Good work, Taz. Well, Scooter scored 5, Atlanta scores 14. 14 for you, Taz. Second lowest score of the round so far. 19 your total. Well done.
Very well played, Taz. Terrific work on that last podium, both of you. Yes, the biggest city in Georgia.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Now, Harriet, welcome. Welcome. What do you do, Harriet?
I work in the marketing team for an online beauty retailer, so selling kind of hair care, skincare, makeup, that kind of thing.
That's right. That's a job that involves taking quite a lot of samples back home, actually.
It does, yes. I'm very
to
lucky.
test them out, I understand. Listen, I'm not...
Of course.
Yeah, nothing underhand here. Well, fun. What a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
You enjoy it?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, it is really good fun, and you know, like you said, there's perks.
Wins you lots of friends as well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
My mum being the main one.
There you go. Exactly.
Wins.
OK, well, there you are on 23. How confident are you feeling at this
This
stage?
is actually a good subject for me, I hope. It was kind of part of my degree was American Studies. So
Good.
Let's hope I don't make a fool of myself.
You are confessing an awful lot of things here in advance of giving your answer. But yeah, fingers crossed.
So I have 2 answers, and I think I'm going to go for St. Louis in Missouri.
St. Louis, says Harriet. OK, well, the high scorers remain Barbara and Judith on 100. 76 or less sees you through. There's your red line. Let's see if St. Louis can get you below it. Louis, no! Harriet, 123 is your total, but I'm afraid that's, for some reason, is incorrect.
Yeah, I'm really, really sorry. St. Louis, I'm going to go right ahead and call it like an American. It is in Missouri, but not the biggest city there, I'm afraid.
OK, now then, Matthew. Matthew, welcome back. Good bow tie. Well done.
Cheers, mate.
You stuck with a plan.
Yeah, you made me look like a right turnip, yeah.
A turnip and a bow tie, though.
I just glad he didn't wear the top hat, that's the thing.
Yeah. We were expecting a top hat.
Yeah,
weren't
we did.
We couldn't find any, so I was going to wear the lampshades from the hotel and they wouldn't let me take them.
Matthew, remind us what you do.
An engineering manager.
That's right, and as we discovered last time, you work out.
Yeah.
Yes. What else do you do? What are your other hobbies?
I pretty much live in work. I hardly see my missus, which I don't know whether she actually finds that better. Probably keeps our relationship stronger, and I'm not about the house more. Actually earning money for his shoes.
And your bow ties, obviously.
And bow ties.
Now then, Matthew, there you are. You're on 79. The high scorers now, Harriet and David on 123. 43 or less is what you require. How's your reasoning going at this stage?
Well, I'm thinking capital cities, but that might not necessarily be...
Yeah, well, as we've seen,
city.
Not always.
And I've got 2 in mind, but I'm going to go for a safe bet, and I'm going to say Detroit, Illinois.
OK, Detroit, says Matthew. Detroit, there is your red line. Get below that, you're in round 2. Let's see if Detroit can do it for you. Good luck. It's right. Very well done indeed. There you go, through to round 2. Nice low score, 12. Second lowest score of the round. Good answer, Matt.
Yeah, Detroit. It's not in Illinois, though. It's in Michigan. It's the largest city in Michigan, Detroit. Well, that's getting smaller by the minute, Detroit.
Oh, it is, yes, poor thing. Indeed. Now then, Barbara, welcome. What do you do?
Well, I'm officially retired as an English teacher, but I keep getting called back. They can't seem to do without me, so I'm still doing little bits of supply teaching. But mainly, I'm very, very happily retired, and I spend my time with my 3 dogs, and my husband's retired as well, and we're over the hills and far away, and do all the things that retired people do.
Yeah, how nice.
It is.
Fabulous.
I recommend it.
Good. Well, there you are, on 100. You have to score 22 or less, Barbara. That would be the 4th lowest score of the round, is what we're after.
Shall I go for Honolulu?
Honolulu, says Barbara. There is your red line. Let's see if Honolulu gets you below that red line. Good luck. It's right.
Hey.
That's the first thing it had to be. Now,
Fingers crossed.
you've done it! Honolulu 6.
Yeah, terrific work, Barbara. Absolutely right. And Missouri, confusingly, the biggest city in Missouri is Kansas City. Would have scored you 3 points, I know, right? The biggest city in Kansas is Wichita, so go figure. And Wichita would have scored you 1. I'll take you through, before we look at the pointless ones, I'll take you through some of the lower scorers. 3 points for Omaha, Nebraska. 2 points for Little Rock, Arkansas. Milwaukee. 1 point for Charlotte, North Carolina. For Newark, New Jersey. Boise, Idaho. Columbus, Ohio. And Jackson, Mississippi. And here are the pointless answers. Billings, which is the biggest city in Montana. Bridgeport, which is Connecticut. Burlington, which is Vermont. All very good answers. Well done if you got any of these. Columbia is the biggest city in South Carolina. Fargo, the biggest city in North Dakota. Louisville, which is Kentucky. Manchester is New Hampshire. Sioux Falls is South Dakota. And Wilmington is the biggest city in Delaware. All of those are terrific answers. That's all the pointless answers up there. Very well done if you got any of those. Let's take a look at the biggest answers, the ones that most of our 100 people said. We'll find out the biggest city in California here. Chicago, that's Illinois. That's the biggest city in Illinois. Los Angeles is, of course, the biggest city in California, 46. And New York, we've already seen, top of the shop, 79.
Thanks very much indeed. So at the end of our first round, the pair heading home with a high score of 123. I'm sorry to say, Harriet and David, it is you. Did you know any of those pointless ones, Harriet?
Yeah. I kind of panicked, thought of 2. I thought of St. Louis and Salt Lake City in Utah, but I don't think that was right, was it?
No, Salt Lake City is right. Salt Lake City would have scored you 6 points.
Oh,
so,
great.
yeah, it would have been a bit, I know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I sort of said that in a happy way, and I shouldn't have done. I should have said it in a sad way. It's good that it's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have to say goodbye to you, Harriet and David. We'll see you again next time. Look forward to that very much indeed. Thanks very much, Harriet and David. Major cities in US states that are not capitals. Richard.
On each board, we're going to show you 7 pairs of cities. You need to tell us which state you would find those cities in, please. 14 in all to have a go at home. Because the state capitals are often not the biggest cities.
No.
But we'll go through what the capitals are as we go along as well.
Tulsa, Norman. Houston, Dallas. Baltimore, Frederick. Jacksonville, Miami. Casper, Laramie. Memphis, Chattanooga. And Worcester, Cambridge.
OK, I've got 2 in mind, but I'm going to be strategic. I'm going to play it very, very safe, and I'm going to go for Texas.
For?
Texas.
Which one?
Sorry, Houston, Dallas.
OK.
Texas, please.
Texas, says Anthony. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Texas for Houston and Dallas. It's right. Ooh, 86. 86 for Texas.
Yeah, and the state capital of Texas is Austin.
And I'm going to go for Tulsa, Norman, Alaska.
Alaska for Tulsa, Norman. Yeah, maybe Texas would have been better. Let's find out. How many of our 100 people said Alaska for Tulsa, Norman? I'm sorry, John. I'm afraid that scores you 100 points. But you're not that far ahead from the mean score so far.
Yeah, unlucky, John.
I was eyeing up the Worcester one because I come from Worcester, but in this country. Don't know where it is in America. So I'm going to go for Memphis and Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Tennessee, says Patty. Let's see how many of our 100 people went for Tennessee for Memphis and Chattanooga. It's right. Well, 100 is the high score, 86 is the low, and you passed both of them. 52, Patty. Very well done.
Yeah, Memphis and Chattanooga. I would have rather had Memphis and Secor, because then we could have had M&S, but unfortunately not.
Thank you very much.
I think Tulsa might be Oklahoma, I'm not sure. Jacksonville and Miami is obviously Florida, but I'm tempted with the bottom one, Cambridge, and I'm going to go for Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, says Ray.
Right or wrong?
Well, it sounds right to me, and you're getting a nod from Patty. So let's see how many of our 100 people said Massachusetts for Cambridge and Worcester. It is Massachusetts. It's a good answer, Ray. Look at that. Down he goes to 20. Very well done indeed.
Well played, Ray. Shall we fit in the rest of these? Now, Tulsa and Norman is Oklahoma. would have scored 27 points. Baltimore and Frederick is Maryland. Would have scored 26. Quite right about Jacksonville and Miami. That is Florida. Would have scored 64. Now, the best answer on the board is Casper and Laramie. It's also, we discovered the other day, the last state in alphabetical order.
Ah, Wyoming.
Wyoming is the answer, yep. And that would have scored 14. Well, I don't know if you said that.
OK, let's put 7 more pairs of US cities up on the board, and here they come. What states would you find these in? Los Angeles, San Diego. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. Las Vegas, Reno. Fort Wayne, Evansville. Cleveland, Cincinnati. Wichita, Overland Park. And Seattle, Spokane. If you can score 79 or less, you're definitely into the next round.
OK. I think I'm going to go for Las Vegas, which is in Nevada.
Nevada for Las Vegas, Reno. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Nevada. There's your red line. It's right. And you're through. There we are, down to 54. 74 is your total. Very well done indeed on podium 4.
Well played, Di. The state capital of Nevada is Carson City. And in the 1900 census for Las Vegas, 30 people lived there in the 1900 census. Isn't that amazing when you see this destroy the millions and millions now?
I will go for Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania for Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Pennsylvania. Here is your red line. It is Pennsylvania. Well done. Gets you through. Down it goes to 26. Your score is 78.
Yeah, the state capital there is Harrisburg. Something which is obvious, actually, when you think about it, but I hadn't worked out before, is Pittsburgh is named after William Pitt, the elder.
Of course.
Yeah.
I know one for certain, which I think is going to be too high.
OK.
So I'm going to try Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Cincinnati, Ohio, says Helen. No red line for you as you're the high scorers at the moment, but let's see how far down the column we get with Ohio.
Ooh.
There we are, 39. 139 is your total.
That's a very good answer. Now, Cleveland, I find this hard to believe, but apparently it's true. It was originally spelt with an A, so it's Cleveland, like we would spell Cleve. And one of the newspapers, to shorten its masthead, took the A out, and it stuck. And that's why it's called Cleveland now.
Well, the top one's California. I think Wichita's Arkansas or Kansas, but I'm not sure which. Seattle is in Washington. I'm not sure about Fort Wayne, which I think might be the lowest scorer, and I'm not sure if I'm daring enough to take a risk. So, I'm going to say Seattle, Washington, Spokane.
OK. Seattle, Spokane, Washington. Here is your red line. Can you get below that red line with Washington? Let's find out. That's right. You've done it. Oh, you've done it with room touch there. There we are, 33. Taking your total up to 119.
Very nicely played there, Patrick. That's very, very good work. Now, you're quite right about Los Angeles and San Diego. You're right to avoid it as well. Would have seen you knocked out, so it scored 75 points. Wichita and Overland Park, it's Kansas rather than Arkansas. It's actually the best answer on the board, 10 points for that. And Fort Wayne and Evansville, it's Indiana. Was the answer there. Would have scored 12. Fort Wayne, that's the birthplace of John Wayne, funnily enough, but whose original name is Marion Morrison.
US tourist attractions. Richard.
OK, on each pass, we're going to show you 6 US tourist attractions. You just have to tell us which state that tourist attraction is in. If you give us a nice obscure answer, something that very few of our 100 people knew, you'll score fewer points. If you give us an incorrect answer, though, you'll score 100 points. 12 in all for you to have a go at home.
Thank you very much, Richard. So we're looking for the US states in which these tourist attractions are to be found, and here we go. We've got Waikiki Beach, Churchill Downs, Arlington National Cemetery, Yosemite National Park, Kennedy Space Center, and the Grand Canyon. I'll read those all one more time. Waikiki Beach, Churchill Downs, Arlington National Cemetery, Yosemite National Park, Kennedy Space Center, and the Grand Canyon. So remember, we are looking for the states in which you would find these US tourist attractions, and obviously you're trying to find the one that the fewest of our 100 people knew. David.
I'm sort of thinking of going with the Kennedy Space Center is in Florida.
OK, Kennedy Space Center, Florida, says David. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people knew that answer. is right. 45. 45, Richard. Quite
Pretty
high.
big score, David, yeah. 1.5 million visitors annually.
Graham, remember, we are looking for the US states in which you would find these tourist attractions.
I don't know the first one. I'm going to have to go with the Grand Canyon in Colorado.
Grand Canyon, Colorado, says Graham. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. Oh, Grand Canyon, not Colorado. Unfortunately, an incorrect answer, which means you score the maximum of 100 points. Bad luck, Graham. Glenn.
I'm going to go for Waikiki Beach, because I think I've seen it on a T-shirt with the place it's in on as well. And I think it's in Hawaii.
Waikiki Beach, Hawaii, says Glenn. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. It is indeed Hawaii. 50. 50 for Hawaii, Richard.
You see, that's how fashion buyers work. That's how their minds think. If it's on a T-shirt, he knows it. Yeah, it's in Honolulu, Waikiki Beach. It means spouting fresh water. Let's fill in the board. Grand Canyon, it's not in Colorado. It's formed by the Colorado River, so I suspect a lot of people might have said Colorado at home. It's actually in Arizona. Would have scored you 29 points. Yosemite National Park is in California. Would have scored you 17. The Arlington National Cemetery is in Virginia. Scored you 2 points. It's actually the best answer on the board. And Churchill Downs is the racecourse where they run the Kentucky Derby. So it's Kentucky, 4 points. So Arlington National Cemetery, best answer on that board, but well done if you got all of them.
Thanks very much, Richard. Well, we're halfway through the round, so let's take a look at the scores. David and Valerie's, it turns out, there we are, the lowest score of the pass. Very well done, 45, looking quite solid there. Glenn and Jamie up on 50, not bad at all. Graham and Sue looking a little bit exposed there on 100. So, Sue, we need a lovely obscure answer from you. Nice low score to see if you're going to stay with us through to the head-to-head. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, we'll put 6 more US tourist attractions on the board, and here we go. We have got Las Vegas Strip, Space Needle, Niagara Falls, Independence National Historical Park, Mount Rushmore, and the Golden Gate Bridge. I'll read them all one more time. The Las Vegas Strip, Space Needle, Niagara Falls, the Independence National Historical Park, Mount Rushmore, and the Golden Gate Bridge. So remember, we are looking for the states in which you would find these US tourist attractions, and obviously you're trying to find the one that the fewest of our 100 people knew. So Jamie, you're on 50, Sue and Graham are on 100. If you can score 49 or less, you are in the head-to-head.
OK, I think that I will go for the Las Vegas Strip, Nevada.
Las Vegas Strip, Nevada, says Jamie. Here's your red line. Below that red line, you've made it through safely to the head-to-head. Las Vegas Strip, let's see if it's right. How many people said it? Nevada. It is right. You made it. Very, very well done. 45. With 5 to spare, that takes your total up to 95. Richard.
It's home, the Las Vegas Strip, to 18 of the world's top 25 largest hotels by room number.
Wow.
It's quite something, isn't it?
Isn't it? Sue, you are the high scorers on 100. You just have to hope you find a lovely, low-scoring answer.
I'm going to have to go with the Golden Gate Bridge, California.
OK, the Golden Gate Bridge, California, you are saying. Let's see if that's right, California. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said it. California. It is right. 45. 45 takes your total up to 145. It puts you 100 points ahead of Valerie and David, who have yet to answer.
Yeah, it makes Valerie's answer very interesting indeed. Yeah, very iconic bridge, obviously spanning between San Francisco and Marin County in California.
So then, Valerie.
I honestly haven't a clue.
Oh, it's exciting, Richard.
Yeah. I honestly haven't a complete clue. I'm going to go with Mount Rushmore in Washington State.
OK, Mount Rushmore, Washington State. There's your red line. It's nice and high.
No.
Mount Rushmore, Washington State. Is it right? And if it is, how many people said it? Oh, I'm afraid that's an incorrect answer, which means you score the maximum of 100 points, which means your score is now 145. For the second time in this show, we have a tie. This is very, very exciting. Well, as it's a tie, the tied pairs have to give me one more answer each. You're now allowed to confer, and the pair with the highest score will be eliminated at the end of the round, as per usual. So then, Valerie and David, you are to go first. You're now allowed to confer.
Well, I've been to the Space Needle, I'm pretty sure. I think it's in Seattle, which is in Washington State, funny enough.
There's an irony.
So that's the one I'm going for.
OK, you are going to say Washington State for the Space Needle.
Yeah.
Space Needle, Washington State. Is it right? How many people said it? It is right. Very well done, David. Down it goes. Still going. 6! That's a colossally low score. 6 for Washington State takes your total up to 151. Sue and Graham. We are looking for the US states in which you would find these tourist attractions.
Shall we go with Mount Rushmore? Where do you think it
Mount
is?
Rushmore, I think it's probably the one with the carved heads.
It is, yeah.
But I'm not certain. Is it Wyoming?
Mount Rushmore, Wyoming, says Sue.
Go with that.
There is your red line. You want to be scoring 5 or less with this answer if you're going to be through to the head-to-head. Mount Rushmore, Wyoming, says Sue. Is it right? And if it is, how many of our 100 people said it? Mount Rushmore, Wyoming. Oh! Well, it's definitive. Sue and Graham, I'm afraid that's an incorrect answer, which means you score the maximum of 100 points, takes your total up to 245. Richard.
Yeah, how about that? Another tie. If you got the right answer for Mount Rushmore, you would be in the next round, because actually it would only score 3 points.
Oh.
It's South Dakota. South Dakota, well done if you got that at home. Niagara Falls, do you know Niagara Falls?
It's New York State?
It is New York, right at the top of upstate New York, 21 points. And the Independence National Historical Park is in Pennsylvania. And that's a pointless answer, so very well done if you got that.
OK, thank you very much, Richard. So at the end of round 2, the losing pair with the highest score, it's Graham and Sue. Oh, dear. Well, again, no shame in that. No shame at all in that, apart from possibly the Wyoming. But frankly, I didn't know it was South Dakota, so...
No, I didn't.
We know that now, though, Graham. You'll never forget that.
No, I won't. And I'm very proud of that score. 245 is a biggie.
It is a big one.
Yes.
It is a big one. But no, you did very, very well. The great news is we'll see you again next time. We'll look forward to that very much indeed. Meanwhile, Sue and Graham, thanks so much for playing.